Can you hear me?
Crippled
How's the
my
voice?
back over the weekend.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you all right?
Not really.
Okay. There's still back pain. I mean, you hurt your back the weekend?
Yeah, I hurt it last week, and it's just so normally it takes me like, I don't know, 10 minutes to walk down from my house to the office.
Okay, right. I know. It's not that.
Oh, it's really horrible. You
Wow.
got a new shirt?
Yes, yes. Well, it's a jogging, extra, outfit. Okay. No, it's actually not a new one. It's someone I brought from Taiwan. Yeah, but I'm in a new place now in Cambridge. All right. So
Are you in Cambridge?
Wonderful place. Actually, it reminds me a lot of PEI. Actually, it looks.
Is it?
But yes, that's the same aura, the same atmosphere, the same. So also went to the university town yesterday. Quite enjoy it. Okay, so I think there's a couple of wins there. Okay. All right, but yeah, maybe you like to share your win over the weekend or over last since we last chat.
I guess it was Nick and I met up on well, not on Zoom, but on something similar.
Okay. Which Nick? The
CIO.
CIO Nick. Oh, nice. Okay, I think that's a wonderful progress. Okay, so tell me about it.
No, it was really good actually. So first thing I said is like, okay, where do we stand with our contract? And he went, I haven't really done anything, so I'm not expecting anything. I wasn't able to engage. I wasn't able to, spend the time that I wanted. So it's not fair. I went, okay, fair enough. I had to ask because we promised.
Right. That's right.
If Julian and I promised to do something, then we want to make sure we're going to, deliver. Right. So anyway,
exactly.
So that was good. But he then, I'll try and send you maybe I can find them in the links. If I can, I'll post them to our chat.
Okay, sure.
He recommended a couple of different
approach.
Yeah, a couple of different websites for us to utilize.
Okay.
Based upon their experience. So, I mean, overall, I mean, he was telling me what he was up to, and he asked where we're at, and he just reiterated the fact that he really likes what we're doing. It's very much in line with where he's at, and so he was saying what I can do to help. At the end of the conversation, it was like, well, okay, if you've got an aim of getting 1,000 people on board, the company that he's working with that does all the marketing, going, well, we've got, depending on how much you can afford to buy, then, if you've got a database of 500,000 and then you can drip feed them through socials and email, even if you get 1% of that, that's still, that's way beyond your target. I mean, yeah, it is. He goes, well, what I'll do then is I'll tell you what to do and you guys do it. And then that's a cheaper way of doing it than if you're paying somebody to do it, if that makes sense. I mean, that's fair enough. Because I think the thing is, if he also asked me a question which I thought was interesting, but I couldn't answer because I don't know what all the costs are. But he goes, at what point do you break even?
Okay.
And I thought that's an interesting point actually, because I know that, for argument's sake, if we've got 1 million under management at the end of 12 months, if we've made 20%, then we make 65 grand.
Right.
That's operating profit. Or I should say no, that's gross profit. I don't know what the operational costs are, and so therefore I wouldn't know what the operational profit is. So at what point do we break even? And that's, if you sat there and said, well, okay, our operational costs are, I don't know, 25,000 for argument's sake,
right?
Then we would sit there and go, well, okay, you know, we could easily claim then that once we've got 1 million under management at 20%, then we will, you know, that will be in profit.
Right? In fact, we can claim that. We can claim that. It's called Laman profitability. Laman profitable. I don't know if you've heard of the term. It's from Y Combinator's Paul Graham. It's called Laman profitable, meaning that a company can support itself through revenue. Okay, it's not great. It's not fantastic profit. It's not Facebook, Google scale stuff. However, when you're at that point, you are at a very comfortable and good position because your income exceeds your minimum expenses.
Yeah. Okay. I don't.
So that's another way to put it as break even, right? I mean, I guess that's yeah. But you then have a literally infinite runway. That's the important point. Yeah. You then have an infinite runway, right? Yeah. Yeah.
So okay.
It's called ramen profitable. Ramen, because you're still eating ramen, right? You're still eating like ramen, like instant noodle, right?
Oh, that's interesting. We pronounce it ramen.
Ramen. Yeah, it's ramen profitable. Yeah, it's called ramen profitable. You cannot go to 5-star hotel. I mean, 5-star restaurant yet, but you can have ramen and,
right,
and live.
I get it. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I'd rather be ramen profitable than knowing people money, because at the end of the you know, fine, if you've got $1 billion in your account, but it all belongs to somebody else, then it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
You're not, you know, you're not profitable because you're in debt.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yes. So yeah. Okay, but go ahead. Sorry to break you, but
no, that's cool. That's quite cool.
I think it's fair to say that 1 million AUM will be a point for us. Yes, $1 million AUM. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I said to him, "Oh, what about the? You know, you've done these rounds of funding. You know, is there anything, you know, we can do with that?" And da. And he was like, "Yeah, maybe." So, okay, so I'm going to push this one out to you next. So this is you might have heard of these guys, WorldCoin.
WorldCoin. Is it from one of the I guess?
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
I put it in the thingy, Bob.
Yes. Is it from Sam Altman?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. Anyway, the point is, it's a you get a $50 worth of WorldCoin, or you get paid $50 and you get taken, but you scan your retinal details into the system. Right. And he was saying how this was you know, a massive infringement on the, you know, personal data and all the rest of it.
Right.
And I just thought it was an interesting observation of what's going on in the world. But this guy who started it, you know, he's basically taking on the, you know, he just felt that this was a real kind of wrong thing to be doing. Obviously, Blockchain Fund Global is his company that he's, you know, for. Let me just find another one.
Okay.
Engine Capital.
Okay.
Now, who are these guys? Are these Engine Capital? Why did he tell me about these guys? I think these guys based in no.
Okay, well, no worries. I mean, just please, yeah, I mean, please let me just, I guess, you can share the key points for now. I mean, you can send the reference later. Yeah.
So okay, yeah, so the really important ones are these last two that I'm pushing up now. So I can't remember what Engine Capital was about. Synthesis, and then Endotech. So Synthesis are they've used them for doing videos, but it's all AI generated.
Okay.
So I just thought that was a really neat potential there to utilize that. And then Endotech are an Israeli company that they're working with in terms of doing investment stuff. So maybe that's something that we can look at, whether or not it's in addition to fluidify or exception to, I don't know, but there might be something there in that respect.
Okay, I see. So this is all shared by Nick, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So a few more, I guess, resource reference to survey.
I think
what's
I think the Endotech thing is the most interesting from your point of view. The Synthesis stuff is probably interesting from our point of view regarding marketing. The interesting thing there is that their database, he said, well, do you know what your profile is? And I said, yeah, well, it's 30 plus years old, professional with disposable income, family, blah, 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 blah. And he went, right, okay. So we've got a database, we can filter them internationally. So the fact that they've got a global database with that much detail in it is quite, even to the point of knowing what they're investing in already. So
right.
It just seems to me that, he's willing to share. I don't know what the cost will be, but he's willing to share his know-how, and he's willing to help us leverage their marketing platform to some degree.
Okay,
so
nice. All right. I think that's something definitely will have synergy, especially with your experience, expertise, and also what you're learning about funnel marketing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess just a thought on there. The one feedback I would have is I do see there's a potential block between what we're doing, the current model, because we are still a centralized entity. Okay, and as such, that was the comment made by the by the Fluidify guys, right? The Fluidify CEO, that it might just have to be by jurisdiction to open markets. Okay, that's just the legal reality of what we'll have to face and address and deal with, right? So I guess my feedback is a global database at this point may not be as utilizable as we like, or as we would like to see, although that's definitely good, simply because of the jurisdiction issues, okay, or the legality issues.
The point is, you can specify where in the globe you're going. So with a global database, you can sit there and go, well, I only want data from the UK.
Yes, that's true. That's true too. Yeah.
As opposed to a blanket spread. The point is that you can identify different regions. So a global database is of benefit because you can specify which regions you want to focus on.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. That's good. Then that's a line. It's just that it has to be go by geography. Yeah. For now, for the current model. Yeah. Although, if we switch to a different model, that would be an entirely different story. Okay. But anyway, all right. So thanks for sharing. So I'll share quickly. Okay, I like to do this in 10 minutes. Okay, of my wins. All right, and also some of the thinking. So I guess the first thing, there's been again some learning stuff and JCF related stuff. But let me maybe share just one learning regarding learning, which is I don't know if you went through the Ben's recent couple of things and what happened. Okay, let me just check this out. Okay, so I think he mentioned a book called Unreasonable. Okay, it's by the same guy who did Richard Kopp, who did the 80-20 principle. Okay, So it was basically analyzing quite a few people from history that had quote unquote unreasonable success. Okay. And what I sort of took from that, so I started to listen to that in additional principles. So one of the thing is that all these people have some common landmarks, and their success is it's done by there's alignment between goal and also their personal values, like strong belief, personal values. So they have first strong belief in themselves. Okay, that's one, self-belief. And then there's transformation experience. Okay, usually that means something that elevates you out of your current situation, environment. And then there's breakthrough achievement. Okay, so these are the three points, that kind of that was he mentioned that the author Richard has distilled from people like Steve Jobs to, let's say, Leonardo da Vinci, to, let's say, Winston Churchill, or all these people. So basically, one thing I found interesting though is that he mentioned about mentorship. Okay, and mentor defined as someone who has an impact or an inspiration on a person. But previously, I thought mentorship you have to know the person. It has to be like a direct mentor. But in his definition, he has found that, for example, like Einstein did not have any known mentor, okay, for that interacted with him. However, mentor can still come in the form of an inspirational figure or even a historic figure, as long as there's, like impact, influence, and inspiration, right? So in that sense, you could also have a mentor who may not even know you exist, or who could even be someone who has passed away, okay, but can still serve as a mentor or maybe a role model. And that just clicks with when I was learning from, the, the book Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, right? I think you might have also, he talked about, he had this, nightly assemble of, he has his own mastermind in his head. I don't know if you read that chapter, that he will go to sleep and imagining some of the historic figures as his advisors. Okay, and basically actually hearing conversation or having dialogues with them to sort of consult them with their experience and wisdom. And that was like a strange thing. So he wasn't willing to share for many years, but he wrote that in the book. Okay, people like Lincoln, like I don't know if you recall that.
But no, I don't remember that at all. Okay, I've read the book a couple of times.
Oh, really? Okay. Do pay attention to that section next time. There is a section about his, his invisible collection of mentors, advisors, right? And that kind of just fit into what Napoleon Hill was saying. Okay, so I found that really interesting. So I guess that's a learning part. And then from Delio, there's the learning that he mentioned something really intriguing. You have to learn to fire the people you love. Okay. In other words, when a person, well, you want to invest in people who has, in terms of partner or employees, like invest in people that have not just goal alignment, but more importantly, value, character alignment. Okay. And when things are no longer aligned, because definitely people, organizations go through different stages. And as Ray has gone through, his organization has gone from, just a few people to tens to hundreds to now thousands, right? So he has gone through all those cycles and, those levels of growth. And not everybody will necessarily continue to stay or be alignment with how the organization has been evolving. So even if you really like a person, there might come a time when you just have to fire that person for both the organization and also the person's sake. Okay, and this is, better for both. Okay, so I found that intriguing, like he has made a distinction between alignment in terms of organization growth, development, growth versus, whether you like this person. So even you might have to fire people you love. That that was. But behind that, I think there's this general idea also from, I think, just wow. That's your note.
That was from my last session in London.
Oh, really? Okay.
Productivity, values, and attitude.
Right. Okay.
So if somebody has low productivity and they don't align with your values and attitudes as an organization, then you fire them.
Right.
The person has great productivity but don't align with your values, then you have to fire them next.
Right.
People who have got great values and are aligned with the organization but wrong productivity, low productivity, then they're in the wrong job. The only people who want are the people who've got high values and high productivity.
Exactly. Yes.
And even then, you can break this section down into
another 4 quadrants like that, right?
Yeah, a matrix, and then you can give them ratings based upon who are the ultimate stars, all the rest of it. But I mean, Jim, what's his name? Collins.
Oh, no, Jim Collins. No.
Yeah, if they're the wrong person they're on the wrong bus, right? Or they're the right person on the bus, but they're in the wrong seat.
Right. Exactly.
Anyway.
Right. So okay, so this is something I learned, and there is a implication to, I think, what we're doing now, in terms of actually about the who's that we're working with. Okay, because I do feel that. So an implication is, are we working with the right who's at the moment, and can we bring in more right who's into part of the team? Because I do feel that this is maybe one area, again, asking the who not how question, this may be an area that that can always definitely be improved, and be enhanced. But it might hold the key to basically our growth and, JCF as an organization's growth. So those are okay. So I have about 1 minute. and I'd like to share a few thoughts from this morning. Okay, let me see. It's essentially okay, the idea that okay, I realize that there's a thinking and a doing part for any kind of task. Okay, and right now we're all doing both. Okay, but it just becomes, I guess, more clear to me that the less doing I'm taking on myself, perhaps the better. Okay, because that is not really something I'm great at doing. But again, this has to be rely upon a great who can actually do the doing, the execution, or the carrying out. So I mean, this is just a general realization. And then in that regard, okay, and also again with the who not how idea, I guess we're talking about, it occurred to me that it might be a time when we want to have a who can act in the role of a kind of a CTO or a lead developer, and who can work directly under your report, okay, as the CEO. Because I do see that there is right now a loop, a feedback loop, that's kind of not working well in terms of you. Let me put it this way. Right now, I think the go-to-market bottleneck seems to be at the user experience aspect. Okay, it's not. I mean, functionally, there are still a few things to tweak. Okay, in terms of invest, but I can sense. I'm sharing my perspective. Okay, so do feedback if you don't feel I'm painting the whole picture or having an incorrect view. But what I see is you are a great sales. Okay, Mike is the salesman. You are definitely capable of getting people into JCF. In fact, there's quite a few already on the pipeline, already in the queue. But there's hesitation right now on your part to bring them into JCF, the platform. Okay, and that hesitation is mainly about the system right now doesn't live up to your expectation of what the system should be or should do or should act. Okay, that is your expectation, not mine. Okay, and while it might, right now our current model is that you try to feedback that to me and try to, I guess, get done, fix, and things. But I do feel that, me as being part of the loop, that is actually creating a bottleneck because, I do have limited time, I try to limit my time on work and especially for it. So that creates frustration on your part, right? So I think a better loop is actually, you are working directly, with the people who can fix the system to actually improve the system in terms of particularly in the user experience, user interface aspect. Okay, so that there is a shorter feedback loop cycle there and to get things done. And also, I think there's also an important sort of adjustment I'm suggesting, which is that by you working directly with the person who can fix things, that creates a shorter, faster feedback loop in terms of progress and improvement. Okay, and also to the point where you will feel comfortable in terms of getting that to be sellable in a sense. But that might involve something like I do feel that I'm being open here. I'm not sure. It could be our current team members, but it could also be someone we haven't been working with yet. Okay. But my point being that person has to be able to fix the system directly and also work directly with you, for example. Okay, in that. So regardless of whatever title or capacity we like to call that, lead engineer, CTO, whatever, but I guess that's the role. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing. Okay, in terms of a who not how kind of aspect. And there's also, I guess, another thought, which is to grow to the 1,000 people. I am actually going to be back to Taiwan, next week by now. So it's going to happen fairly quickly. And there's actually some, some real estate connection. I just as a gain, prior to me coming to the UK trip, I met this, this guy who was, who basically an expert in the Taiwanese real estate circle. Okay, he used to be the former CEO of one of the largest real estate group in Taiwan. Managing basically, hundreds of millions of, projects. And he's been dedicated his last couple of decades of time to do safe building, okay, and towards things like Eco Village. And there's just I see that by serving him, okay, that might open up some opportunities. Like, okay, so let me just share the conclusion first, which is I had this thought that maybe it might be a good idea to actually develop fully the Taiwanese market for now, for the time being. But with you as the main salesperson, okay, or the lead marketing sales guy, okay, and that served a couple of things. One is that is leveraging existing infrastructure and also legal framework. Okay, because we know that for the Taiwanese, currently legally speaking, we do still have that, legal opinion there, so legally speaking, and there are millionaires in Taiwan. That was one of Andrew's comment, back, I don't know, a while ago. He actually, during Andrew's visit, when I was sharing that I like to see 1 million 1,000 millionaires joined JCF, within 3 years. And the immediate response of Andrew was, well, you'll probably find them in Taiwan, because there's probably more millionaires per square foot or square whatever kilometers in Taiwan than anywhere else, one of the highest density. And so my parents, arguably, they're millionaires. I'm pretty sure their assets value size, all that, their net worth is in the million range, right? So there are probably a lot more millionaires in Taiwan than many other parts in the world. And Taiwan could serve as a pilot area as well, to testing. It's a smaller place, right? Information spread quickly. So usually that's a sign for doing quick pilots, right, of models verification before scaling internationally. So, I guess this is just a thought here, is that if we focus on, let's say, scaling up the current Taiwan user base from 100 to 1,000, right, and using whatever approach we are finding, but again, with your involvement, your guidance, and your expertise and direction as well. Obviously, we will have to address the language translation barrier issue, but that would be an interesting thing to solve as well. Because if, let's say, you are behind all the marketing sales effort of a Taiwanese operation, right, of the Taiwanese market, then that means we actually have cracked the code of how to scale this thing globally. Do you see my point? Because you're actually trying to tackle a market that is of a different language and even a different culture, right? So what that means is that it has to be distilled to something really, really fundamental and universal, right? It's just like how all the global franchise, McDonald's, Starbucks, the reason why they can spread globally is because they have distilled their secret of success formula, into something concrete, tangible, and that's globally appealing, very much like American movies, right? And when you can get the essence of your business down to those aspects, right, then it will be easier to scale internationally. So this is maybe a crazy idea, but okay. So in summary, okay, sorry, that took another 10 minutes that I like. But in summary, just a couple of points. One is I'm suggesting that we focus on the Taiwanese market, okay, but with you designing how the full marketing sales operation should go, okay, and explore. And also even the customer service aspect, because I can see definitely you're a great customer service guy as well, okay? And then the second point is, and that could also leverage some of my existing networks, and current base, right, in Taiwan. For example, by working with this real estate, this great mentor or kind of a influencer in the space. I don't know where that will lead, but there are possibilities. And the second thing is for you to work closely with someone who can actually do the system fix, okay, so that there's a shorter iteration for our user experience UI improvement. Okay, and that may or may not involve getting a new who to be part of the team. But what I'm envisioning or imagining is that will be someone you trust, someone you can work closer with, someone you can have a direct line of communication, someone who can understand what you're talking about. Do you see what I'm saying? But who can also fix the system directly, who has the technical capability to fix the system directly. Okay, so as in hands-on engineering and coding, or direct project management. Yeah. All right. So, all right. So those are a couple of things. While in Cambridge, while on this trip. All right. So, would like to know your thoughts. Oh, and a third thought is maybe we should meet on this UK trip. I don't know what's your thought on this. And yeah, and there are still some, I guess, yeah, there are some movement days where we might be able to do this. So okay, so 3 things. Yeah, all right. So thoughts, feedbacks.
Yeah, I don't know where to start really.
Okay, all right. Feel free.
I think so whenever you talk about who, not how, no matter what,
Right.
who is going to pay for the who that's going to do the how?
Okay. We'll find partners mainly, or people who can support, or we can within our current budget. Basically, let's say.
What we got within our current budget?
Right.
Sunny, Josh. Are they the CTOs that you're talking about?
They may or may not be. That's an open question. I don't know. That's something I don't know. I think we have to explore or answer that collectively.
You see, the thing is, and when you say I'm limiting my time, the frustrating thing for me is I'm actually putting more time into this. So you're walking out while I'm walking in. That's not partnership. That's more like employment. And I think, if you have a dream, Shunyun, then you need to focus on how important that dream is to become a reality. And if you've got 10 different dreams and you want to go in 10 different directions, well, you've got to figure out which one is the real one for you.
Right. True.
Now, you might say, oh, well, I'm going to be a social billionaire with 1,000 unicorns or whatever it is.
Right.
Okay, well, if that's a 25-year goal destination,
yes,
then what is it that's going to get you your Q1 success?
Right.
And I think the challenge that you got there is from the feedback that you've given me, because this is the same, we're having this conversation a second time now.
Okay, sure.
And it's based around you're cutting back on your time because you don't want to be the CTO.
Right. True.
Well, you might not want to be the CTO. I don't want to be the CEO. I don't want to, I don't want to be doing the manual work, right?
Okay.
Because that's not where I want to be.
Right.
Where I want to be is at the 30 days here, being able to deliver, doing the Chad kind of thing, where it's 30 days a year to make sure that the company is operational in the right direction because it's self-managing.
Right. True.
Or indeed being there as an influencer for the particularly with JCF for the decentralized element of what they will become.
Right. True.
So once
your future self, right? You're talking about your future self, right?
Well, within the context of JCF, yes.
Yes. Okay. Right.
So if JCF is going to be a decentralized, autonomous organization, I don't think that's going to happen tomorrow. And I think we need to get it to the point, I think there's going to be a point, and I think it's going to come in stages. However, if it doesn't come in stages and we do it all today, then I don't see the likelihood of making the kind of return on investment in terms of time. You'd have to show me how we're going to make that return on investment, because I don't want to be doing this and getting like getting a 25 grand salary out of this. This is not what I'm doing for, right?
I see. Okay.
And if that's not in alignment, then that's fair enough. I need to know that now, and then we'll need to move on. So yeah, we need to, I want to limit my time. I want to be, I want to be doing less, not more. But the point is, the way I look at things is that for things to be a success, one has to make sure that that there is a mechanism there to be successful and replicate. So you use McDonald's or any other franchise which is a successful franchise.
Right.
Exactly. Ironically, McDonald's success is not in the fact that they sell burgers.
No, they're a real estate company. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But their system is such that any idiot can read the manual and make the same burger. And they can do
including their real estate strategy. That's also scalable. They also get that piece right.
And I think that the expectation, you said it's your expectation, not mine. Well, okay. But I would say that I shape my expectation upon what I believe would be an average of a user's expectation. Not what I would sit there and say is good enough for me.
Right.
And
so that's great.
You know, you might sit there and say, oh, well, you know, there's no such thing as bad press. Well, I don't know about that one, but maybe. I think the thing about, okay, so you've made a contact with somebody who's millionaires are there's a difference between an asset millionaire and a cash millionaire.
True.
So I don't, you know, just because, I mean, there's a lot of millionaires.
Yeah, Mike, let me clarify a bit. When I talk about, I'm talking about 1,000 people with $1 million US dollar net worth, who's willing to put $1,000 US for a fund, which is not much.
No.
Okay. No, right. I mean, okay. But 1,000 of them. This is the point. So that we can get to $1 million AUM. And it's our low risk investment on their part. You see?
Yeah, you're saying? That's clear to you, but that message is not necessarily clear to them.
Okay, right.
Or is it that might not be the, you know, saying to a millionaire, well, just put 1,000 in, it's pretty low risk for you. Why? Why would I do that?
Okay.
What benefit is it to me?
Exactly. Yeah.
Those are the sorts of questions you have to overcome.
Right.
I think
exactly.
I think also then that if you're talking about serving others, serving this guy who's a real estate fella, who's been doing it for 20 years or whatever, to what purpose? And I think that if you're sitting there going, I don't know what the purpose is, I just think it'd be a good idea. Well, there is that, yeah. But you're now claiming that you want to spend some of your time, which you've already said is limited, and investing it on something which is a maybe that might help at some point in the future, but you don't know. What it is it's something that's different. It's a new shiny penny that you kind of think, well, this might be interesting. Let me go and have a look at this. But it doesn't actually, it doesn't constructively connect you to what the goal is. And the goal from Collision was 1,000.
Right.
I think it's not just about language and time, but it's all, I mean, it's not about language but it's also the time zone as well as the culture. I'm not to become to be a global sales director, whatever. I mean, I don't know that the argument about, well, let's focus on Taiwan because Taiwan's a great place to build it out of. It kind of doesn't matter. You know, if we geographically target Taiwan, UK, and Europe, it's, you know, the time zone we're going to have it so that we don't have people ringing up or sending us text messages or having an expectation to function and answer questions. So it's not about, this is about the system being scalable. So
correct. Build up a scalable system.
Yeah, if you want to use your McDonald's example, then, you know, where the system works, regardless of whether or not you've got it going on in any time zone. And again, this is not my expectation. It's just, does the system work?
Okay.
And if your answer to that is, let's have a, you know, if you go onto the login page and you register your account and you've done your KYC and then you want to invest, and then you have to turn that fiat into crypto, and then you've got to turn that crypto into a JCF coin. How do you do all of that? Well, let's get them on an IM chat and then we can figure it out.
Right.
That ain't a system that scales or works, because it's dependent upon Poet or somebody else sitting on that chat forum and waiting for people to come and ask them how to do it, and then taking them through that.
But the question is, though, does it scale to 1,000 users? Right? It's
No,
definitely
it
not
doesn't scale to 10 users, I don't think.
Okay.
I think if you put,
I don't think it's going to scale to 10. Okay.
No, not to 1,000.
Right now it's you know, we get to 100, you know, with this mechanism kind of right now.
Yeah, but how long did it take you to get to 100, and how often did you get somebody onboarding?
Okay. There wasn't consistent effort from my perspective. I mean, towards that direction. While we were doing that, the 100 was achieved, I think, over. It was less than a year. Okay, it was less than a year.
12
Basically,
months.
Robert's effort. Yeah.
12 months. 12 months, right?
Yeah.
Going to BNI meetings and doing a pitch every BNI meeting.
Right.
And over the course of 12 meetings, he's got 8 people. Right, each on average each meeting, right? And then that's 8. If it's once a month, that's 8 people a month.
It was okay. Let me be clear. It actually was just from one BNI chapter. It wasn't from other chapters. It was just one single BNI chapter in Taiwan.
Okay, but how often did he go?
Weekly. It was a weekly attendance. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So weekly. Okay, 52 then. So he's got he went to 52 meetings and he brought on 100 people over the course of 52. Right.
And also individual meetings. Yeah. And then it's individual chats. Yeah. Because BNI had this one-to-one thing. Yeah.
So he's spent a lot of hard work and time explaining things and going through the objection in the sales process.
Exactly. And building trust. Yes. Exactly.
Right. Okay. So that's not a scalable process.
Unless there's another way.
Well,
right.
What other way?
It's not scalable. You know. Well, so yeah. So that's I guess that's what we're trying to figure out right now.
Well, and so again, it's not about expectation. When you said how I think the interface, the UI or the UX, it's not about expectation. It's about it's not scalable the way that it is right now. Now that might you know, and you said that's not your expectation. It's different. Okay, well, if you think that that's scalable, and you think that that's able to convert 1,000 people, then I would expect you to be a bit more bullish about, stop it, Mike, this is going to work. We can roll this out today.
Okay, I see. Okay. No,
but again,
I'm not, because I don't know how to onboard people that way. You probably do.
Well, I mean, I'm just following the processes that we've read in the book, right? So, and I think that the conversation from Nick was probably a good one, because that's you see, from a funnel perspective, if your funnel's big enough, then you're going to get the end result. And it's just about, regardless of what the value is at the end, you know, that you want at the end, you simply got to make your funnel big enough. But I think, you know, you're driving your energy towards being you know, having great ideas.
Yeah, go ahead.
Having great ideas and pushing forward and innovating and reaching the goal of being a kind of, you know, a time-free person. I don't disagree with any of that, and I think it's great. I think from the point of view of getting to a position where one can do that, got to be realistic. I use the term realistic. I think you've got to just, well, I personally I take it a very different route. I personally think of it in a different way, because I think that your achievements, your goals will allow you to do the things that you want. Now it might, so at one point, right, when I was in my mid-20s and I was asked by an IFA, what time do you want to retire? And I went 55, and he just laughed at me.
Okay.
My goal back then was to be sitting on a beach doing nothing, not to have to work at 55.
Okay.
I just wanted to sit around all day, right?
I see.
Okay. I can't imagine anything more.
Still working at 55, right? Okay.
Well, I'm quite happy working, doing the things I'm doing now. I'm 55 now.
Oh, okay.
I was 55 last birthday a couple of weeks ago. What's really irritating to me is I can go and buy a retirement home if I wanted one.
Right.
So the thing is, what am I doing? I don't want to ever retire.
You can or cannot?
I can.
Oh, right now you can. You
Yeah.
can.
I can go and buy there's buildings across the road here, right? That they're building that you have to be, you can only be over 55 if you want to buy one of those buildings. I wouldn't.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But the thing is, you can buy, what it enables you to do is it enables you to buy a property which is cheaper because they're going to take it back at the end of your, when you die.
Ah, I see. Oh, I see. There's for retired person
a discount.
Plan, right? Okay, I see. Okay.
Anyway, my point.
Mike. Sorry. Just to be aware, I might have to go in, at sharp. Okay. So I appreciate your feedback, and okay. So maybe I think we can quickly maybe do a summary of what what this dialogue has helped or brought or clarify. Would that be all right?
Go for it.
Okay. So I think on my part, what I really appreciate. Okay, I think Mike is saying that Mike sees. I don't know if, from my perspective, there's a path towards freedom and success, which is hard work, a lot of time spent at early stages, and then you can gradually decrease the time you spend. Okay, and until you are quote unquote successful, resourceful enough. Okay, whereas the current Shengyuan thinks that he can start to live that life right now or in the very near future. Okay, so what I see is there's a gap